Hey guys, Lucas here. Welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. Today, I have a new guitar in the studio. It's an S-style guitar at kind of a budget-friendly price, but it really offers some pretty high-end features. Today, I'm going to unbox this and give you my initial impressions as well as go over the features and the specs of this guitar. If you're new here and you like guitar-related content, lessons, and gear reviews and DIY projects, please consider subscribing to the channel. Don't forget to click that bell icon to get notified every time I upload new content. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for your continued support. So after some time online checking out Google reviews, I noted that people are speaking pretty highly about this affordable guitar brand from China. I'm starting to see this brand pop up kind of frequently on Instagram and YouTube, and they're really making a push to get their product into Canada. At the time of purchase, I paid about $460 for this guitar, so the exact one I'm about to show you. It's currently listed on eBay.ca for 561 Canadian dollars or 445 US dollars on eBay.com. So it's not the cheapest guitar that you can buy, but once you see the specs, I think you'll understand that it represents some pretty decent value. So before I unbox this, I need to talk to you guys about my experience with this company. I had reached out to them to see if they would be interested to sponsor a video on my channel, and they were nice enough to agree. So we made a deal on a different S-style guitar than the one I'm going to be kind of unboxing for you here today. The model that we decided on was the NK-C1, and it looks like this. So I paid about 360 Canadian dollars, or 279 USD for this guitar. Ordered it directly from EART, and it arrived in only 3 days. We settled on this. It's got some great features: a 9.5 to 14-inch compound radius, carbon fiber reinforced roasted maple neck, stainless steel frets, an African mahogany body, a bone nut. You know, some really good features. Definitely a bargain at 360 Canadian or 279 USD. I had watched a number of YouTube videos on this particular brand, and everybody seems super happy with their purchases. So, you know, I thought, hey, let's go for it. After spending some time with it, I started to notice a few issues. During the first string change, the nut actually fell off. It's really well cut, and I believe it's bone. The company does say it's bone, and I think it is. But there was no glue in the nut slot to hold the nut in place. It just fell onto the floor. It's a simple fix, but not something that I expected to find on a brand new instrument. The second thing that happened to me is that I couldn't get the strings out of the trem block. They were actually stuck inside the trem block, and I had to use an Allen key and go through the hole at the top to push the ball end of the string out through the saddle. It's not the end of the world, but it's a bit of a pain in the ass, honestly, and if I have to do this on every single string change, it's going to be a major pain in the butt. The next thing that I noticed was just a small crack in the finish of the neck pocket. Well, I've seen this on a lot of guitars. My old Ibanez has this. You know, it's not an uncommon thing to see that in the finish. It would have been nice to see this disclosed in the beginning, and the guitar should be sold as a second. Again, not something I would expect to find on a brand new instrument. Finally, I took my fret rocker right here and actually checked the frets, and some of them weren't level, and in fact there's a couple of them here where they're actually flat across the top. They've done it kind of at the end here where they just sort of stopped, I think, really trying, and the top of the fret is flat. So let's be honest, at $360 I wasn't expecting a Sir or a Tom Anderson or an Ibanez, but I was expecting to at least have the instrument be kind of complete. The key thing here is I bought this guitar based on the opinions of others I had seen as influencers. They were either being dishonest in their reviews or I got a lemon. So I contacted the company and I sent photos and videos of the issues that I have with this particular guitar, and they offered to upgrade me to a higher end model, and for just the price difference between actually this model and the CP-1 that we're going to take a look at today, and I get to keep this guitar too. And I think as a mod platform, it's actually pretty solid. So I felt like that was a fair deal because they're trying to help me out and they were trying to rectify the problem. So while my experience with the first guitar wasn't great, I do like that the company stepped up and supported me in terms of trying to help me to resolve the issues that I've been having with this particular guitar. All right, so now that you guys have the background on my original experience with the guitar, let's switch gears and take a look at the new model that they've sent me, and let's hope that we find better quality on this one. All right, let's go over the specs. So we have a 25.5-inch scale length. We've got 22 stainless steel frets. We've got a two-piece carbonized mahogany body. We've also got a carbon fiber reinforced roasted maple neck with a rosewood fingerboard. We've got a compound radius on this guy. It's a 9.5 to 14. It's a bolt-on neck, but it has a nice access feature there. We'll talk about that as well. We've got a 2-point Wilkinson-style tremolo made in Korea, as well as HSS kind of configuration. We've got die-cast tuners with an 18:1 ratio, chrome hardware, and a mint green pickguard. We've also got 1 volume and 2 tone controls and a standard 5-way switch that you would expect to find. This particular one I'm going to show you is finished in sky blue, really nice looking color. So everywhere I look, people seem to be pretty happy with this brand of guitars, kind of regardless of the model. Things like roasted maple necks, stainless steel frets, those are kind of common features among the range, and the biggest praise seems to be for the company's fretwork. I ordered the guitar directly from the company, and I was directed to the company's owner via the EART rep here in Canada, and I chatted with him directly. Quick shipping, it was a pretty easy transaction in my experience. So what I thought I would do is first start with an unboxing and reaction video. In the second video, I'm actually going to disassemble the guitar and really look at the build quality. We'll take a look at the components used to put it together, the type of soldering job, the wiring, the pickups, the shielding, just the overall fit and finish and construction of this guitar, just to see what kind of value this really represents. Finally, I'll either do a third video that showcases the tones of the guitar by writing and arranging an original piece and using the guitar for all the parts in it, or I may include that in the second video, sort of depending on how things go. So without further delay, let's get into this unboxing. This is really, really well packaged. It's almost like a styrofoam type container that they put this in. So I'm going to save you the pain of watching me cut into this, but I am going to get it open so we can pull it out of the box and have a look. The packaging is excellent. I wouldn't be worried about this being damaged in shipping at all. All right. I think I actually have the thing properly cut open now. Let me just hopefully be able to pull the lid off this guy. So I don't know if you can kind of make this out, but so the whole thing is enclosed in styrofoam. Really, really well done. So here we have it, nice and light. Oh, for my buddy Landon, if you're watching, it's a squeaky bag. Oh, this neck, holy shit. Am I allowed to say that? Well, it's a squeaky bag. So Landon, if you're watching, these squeaks are for you. Hear that? Oh, it's really loud. So if you guys don't know, check out Lando27. He's got a great guitar channel, YouTube channel. Really nice guy, very funny, good Canadian boy, but he hates the squeaky bag. Wow. That is pretty nice. So this literally just came out of the truck. It's actually cold. Look at that neck. So roasted maple. Nice and smooth. It's got a nice satin finish on it. Not in tune, so we'll have to tune that up. But my initial impressions, the fretwork looks really nice. Nicely polished. There are no sharp ends. These ends are rounded. I'm sure the camera's not going to pick this up, so I'm going to have to put some additional photos in there. The nut is beautifully carved. It looks like bone. The tuners, Technology USA, sealed 2018, Colorado is what it says on the tuners. They feel nice and smooth. No issues there. Love the color. A nice big hunk of steel there in the block. It's not one of those tiny little thin blocks. I love this access here for fretwork, or for being able to get up into those higher frets. I also really like this neck joint. It's actually tapered towards the neck, so it thins out as it gets towards the neck, and there's no neck plate on it. So upper fret access should be quite comfortable. These are actually metal knobs on here. They're not plastic, I don't believe, which is quite nice. The switch feels pretty good. The tone pots and volume pots, they're not scratchy. They don't feel cheap. All in all, pretty nice looking guitar. So So far for the money I've spent, I think I've gotten, you know, pretty decent value. It's a good piece of wood, very well finished. I don't see maybe one little ding here, but overall it looks quite good. So anyway, I'm going to tune this thing up and we'll spend a little bit of time with it. I'll let you guys know what I think. All right, guys, so I've changed the strings on the guitar. When I did that, I actually oiled up the neck and I noticed that I was getting some like black almost residue off it. Actually, my fingers were turning a little bit black from playing the strings, and I think what probably happened is after they polished the frets, they maybe didn't clean the guitar up as well as they should have. So I cleaned that up, hit it up with some lemon oil, changed the strings. So when I changed the strings on this guitar, guess what happened? Exactly the same thing as on the other model. The ball ends were stuck inside this trem block. So I don't know if this is something that they have made for them or what. They say it's made in Korea. The saddles here actually look like they're really good quality. This is gonna come apart when I do my second video. I'm gonna rip this apart and have a look, but I don't have one here, but you have to use a small Allen key and poke it down through the hole to hit the ball end of the string and then give it a tap and it'll pop out. Kind of gonna be a pain in the ass if I have to do that all the time. Also, I just noticed some small metal marks on, not metal marks, but actually like nails, actually almost. I put some pictures in the video here in the fretboard. There's actually two here, and looks like they tried to cover one up here. I thought it was a knot in the rosewood at first, but I think what these are is fretboard location pins. So what they do is when they make a neck like this, before they glue the fretboard to the neck, they'll usually drill some pilot holes, usually underneath a fret, where a fret goes, so that you don't see them, and they insert like a small piece of metal that lets them actually kind of line the fretboard up with the neck so that when it has glue on it, they don't have a problem or a mistake. But they typically would drill those underneath where the frets go so that you don't see them, but I actually can see them right here on the guitar. And I never noticed it in the beginning. It doesn't affect the way the guitar plays. It plays really great, actually. But, you know, once you see a wart, it's kind of hard to unsee it. I'm really disappointed to find that, unfortunately. Adjusted the intonation to get it perfect. It was okay, but it needed to be kind of fine-tuned a little bit. And I've been playing it ever since. I also set the trem up so that it's floating. And just on the topic of the trem, the bar fits in really nicely. There's no slack, there's no play. The response to the trem when you use the bar is immediate. You know, you can get the whole warble thing going on, which is cool, and you can get pretty aggressive with it, and it actually stays in tune as well, which is really nice because I'm not typically used to doing that. I generally block these or, you know, deck them against the body of the guitar and I leave it. You know, the neck feels great. I would describe this as a modern C. The frets are nice. They are finished up really, really well. It is kind of weird what I'm seeing there, but the components are pretty decent. I think it would be hard to find this kind of this kind of feature set in a guitar in this price range, you know, that isn't made overseas. Let me put it that way. If you know of one, by all means, please let me know. I suspect where we're saving our money is probably under the hood. I haven't taken this off yet, but that's what's going to happen in the next video. I'm going to rip this thing apart and I'm going to show you guys gut shots and everything, and we'll really get a fix on what we're really getting here. But in terms of the neck, the fretwork, the nut is good quality. The bridge seems to be pretty solid. It's staying in tune and doing its job really, really well. Playability is really, really good. I mean, just look at that neck. If it was me, I would not have painted this headstock. I'm not a fan. I would have made it this color. That would have been way, way nicer. But I think what we're going to find when we look this up, when we flip this over here, we're probably going to find, you know, ceramic pickups, maybe not a lot of shielding because I'm hearing some noise in certain positions as well. All right, so what are my impressions of this guitar overall? Well, I'm really conflicted, and I'll tell you why. It's because I've had two guitars from this brand, and both of them have had some kind of quality issue. This one much less so than the other one. I really do like this guitar. It plays great. It's super comfortable. The trem is awesome. You know, it stays in tune. looks pretty cool. I'm not crazy about this, but that aside, you know, I feel like this guitar, if I didn't have these fretboard locating pins, assuming that's what they are, visible here. Somebody put a black marker on this and just tried to cover it up. If I didn't have those issues going on, I would have no problem with paying, you know, $400 or $500 for this guitar. But here's the rub. I've now seen 2 of these instruments, both of which have quality problems. And what's kind of really, I guess, rubbing me the wrong way is that every YouTube video I looked at, people were glowing and going on about how amazing these guitars are. Yes, this is pretty good, but it's not, like I said before, it's not a Sir, it's not a Tom Anderson, it's not an Ibanez AZ Prestige for 500 bucks. It's not. You would never find these kinds of quality issues on guitars like that. Granted, they are 6 times the price, you know, $3,000 in and around that range. I was looking at an Ibanez Prestige online today, and they're insanely expensive. And I should preface this, I mean, I know you guys look, you probably see all the guitars and stuff. Most of my stuff is pretty budget, kind of low end. My most expensive guitar that I ever bought is a Les Paul Studio. I paid 1,200 bucks for it. So, you know, it's not like I'm sitting around with a bunch of high-end instruments, and I do a lot of DIY stuff as well, because frankly, you know, I don't have $3,000 to drop on a guitar as much as I might like to. So yeah, I'm conflicted, and I'm kind of annoyed because I don't think anybody has taken these guitars and actually ripped them apart to see what's going on. One guy who's got quite a few followers, compared to me anyway, says he actually took the guitar apart and he described the wiring as a work of art. We'll see what I find when I do the same thing, but he didn't show any pictures. He just, you know, just goes on and on about how awesome it is. And I don't know if these guys are being given the guitars, if they're buying the guitars, or, you know, kind of what's going on. I did pay for this, and yeah, I'm kind of getting, I guess, a better deal than most because I got to keep the first guitar, but it's really probably because I complained about it. So, and because I bought a new guitar that had all kinds of issues with it, and I bitched and complained, and so they kind of did this for me. So this is a really hard video for me because this is actually supposed to be my first sponsored video, and it's been really challenging because the company did step up. They did, you know, try to make things right by sending me a second guitar, and basically they gave me the first one for free. So, you know, for what it's worth, you know, I do appreciate what EART Guitars was trying to do there, but yet I have a second guitar that now has quality issues. I don't think they're going to affect me as long as those pins stay where they are in the fingerboard and they don't come out and they don't start to protrude anywhere. Then, you know, it's not going to make a difference. It's just that now I can see them. It just kind of bugs me to know that they're there. So, but you know what? If I can put some decent electronics in here, decent switch, it does play great, and I do like the guitar. So I'm sort of torn. Maybe did I get two issues? You know, is it possible? Maybe I should go buy a lottery ticket. I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to be honest and upfront. I feel that, you know, we have people who put out content like this and do reviews have a real responsibility to make sure that it's an honest opinion that you're providing, because people actually pull their wallet out of their pocket and go and buy stuff based on what they see on YouTube. And I mean, I've done it myself, right? So, you know, if you think it's amazing and great and wonderful, and then you go and you plunk down your money, and then you're like, maybe not so much, that is sending the wrong message. So I warned these guys when they sent me the first guitar. I was very upfront with them. I told them I'm doing an honest review. So if there's problems, I'm going to tell people about it. So this has been a tough one for me to do. It's taken me quite a while to put it together because, you know, I don't really want to throw the company under the bus, but at the same time, I don't want to steer folks wrong either. So I don't know, guys. What do you think? You know, I do like this guitar. I really do. I'm just kind of bummed that that it came with a few blemishes as well. Pretty minor, but at least I think. Anyway, we'll know more in the next one. I'm going to take it all apart and have a closer look at what's going on in here, and I'll share that with you guys. We're going to look at the neck pocket. We're going to look at the routing and see how it's all done with their CNC. I mean, it's a CNC machine. It should be pretty good. It's pretty hard to screw that up these days, I would think. You know, Anyway, I think I'm pretty well out of words here. This has been kind of a long video. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you stuck it through till the end, thank you so much for doing that. I apologize for making the video so long, but I did really feel it was important to kind of fully disclose exactly what my experiences have been so far. I do appreciate EART Guitars. They did try to help me out, and they have been responsive, and they have been I guess apologetic, and they do believe in their product, I think, as well. And I think in China they're actually seen as kind of a premium brand. So we'll see what happens when we get into the next stage of this, and when I actually get a chance to sit down and write some music with it. I do like the guitar, I really do. It does play well. I'm just concerned now because this is two guitars and two instruments with some quality issues. So what do you think? Would you take a chance and spend $500 to get these types of features, knowing that there's a possibility you could see a quality issue, or would you skip it and try to find something else? I know here in Canada, I would never find a guitar with a roasted maple neck. A roasted maple neck alone would cost me, well, there's one, you can get one made in Mexico, roasted maple neck for a Strat. It's a 12-inch radius with, I think the narrow tall frets. It's $399, $400 just for the neck. So, is it really that bad of a deal? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. As always, I really appreciate your time. I appreciate your support. Please, again, consider subscribing to the channel. And until next time, talk to you soon. Take care.